Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? We are here with the mailman himself, Frank Miller, to profile his top 8 Majin Vegeta deck from the recent webcam regional. Frank, what's going on, man?
What's going on, brother?
You must be feeling pretty good. Got yourself a serial Goku, did pretty well, played a deck that I know you've been liking a whole lot. So how you feeling after this webcam?
I feel really relieved after this, man, because like I said, I've been playing red for a long time, so it's nice to switch it up. And shout out to Big J for recommending this deck for me, man. I love this deck.
Alrighty. So yeah, you played Majin Vegeta. Like you said, you played a lot of red. This is definitely the most aggressive yellow deck. I mean, is that what you like about it? That it's definitely a bit more on the aggro side?
Absolutely, like it has the benefits of being aggro, but also has like the defense that yellow has to come along with it. So it just, for me, it just felt like the perfect combination of a deck for me, man, and it paid off.
Yeah, I agree and that sounds kind of unfair when you say like, oh, it's really aggro and it has yellow's defenses. That sounds unfair. I think the deck is like a really good deck, not unfair, but that concept just sounds kind of crazy. But anyways, all right, let's take a look at the main board. So we have our 4 copies of Goku Destined Battle. My opinion, it's the most important card in the deck. You play cards here that we'll look at later that help search this thing out, but would you also call this like the linchpin of the deck?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this is literally the best card to awaken with in the deck. So I would literally hard mulligan for another card that I have in the deck to help me out with this one. But yeah, it's definitely important.
Gotcha. 4 copies, Goku Vegeta Ultimate Duo. This card just so cracked. Like, did you ever get to kill like an Indestructible or like a Frieza 5 drop with this?
No, but I can't even tell you how many SCRs I cracked with this thing today, man. It was just so funny to see it. Like, it's just the concept of being one energy and it just negates the skill and just kill a battle card. It's hard to wrap your head around something like that, It's amazing, dude. It's an amazing card.
Yeah, 100%. 4 copies of Prince Destruction Vegeta, another starter deck promo, incredible 1-cost double striker, draws a card, 25k. This card is just absolutely huge.
Oh yeah.
For a post, of course, 3 Vegetos. So this is our Floodgate package here. I mean, yeah, like you talked about, being super aggressive and having yellow's defenses is just absurd. And then you have 3 copies of Zarbon. So this is a card that in my build I've gone back and forth on. Sometimes it feels incredible, sometimes it feels like a little bit lackluster. What was your experience with Zarbon today?
It was very hit or miss. Like, it's really good if you have like the Vegeta or the Vegeta in rest mode for you, the servant one. And it's another good if you can trigger your Goku, like use your leaders activate battle, switch your Goku, and then restand your Goku again, so you can at least get a block out of it. So there's a lot of cheeky plays out what you could do with it, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's just mainly Z energy, like a lot of times, because most players that they're going to try to kill your Goku and your Vegeta, like, because they don't want to keep dealing with that on the next turn. So I'm back and forth about this. I can see the argument for 2, but right now for this term, I like 3, and it worked out for me for the most part.
For sure. Then we have 3 copies of Metacooler Infinite Terror. I think this card is like so cracked when you have an actual Z leader, and the fact that this leader has a free one is incredible. Did you ever feel like 3 was a lot, like seeing it early, or this is like the perfect number for you?
Honestly, I would have ran 2 of this, but I didn't have another card that we'll see later on. So I was trying to figure out what's the best next available card that I can fill in right there. And this card just popped in my head. Like you said, it's a free negate when you get to your Z leader side, and then that's just it. It's just a free negate, and sometimes you just don't want to tap the energy for it. So I was like, sure, I'll just add a free negate to the deck. It should be worked out just fine for me.
For sure. All right, then we have 2 copies of Vegeta Buying Time. Was this anything else besides like just a cantrip?
Well, it is a body for your Vegeta, your Goku card, because the Goku 4 costs can't restand unless you have a Vegeta in play or in your Z energy. So I usually like turn 1. Like, if I just, didn't have either with the Goku Vegeta duo or the Vegeta, I would just play this card, draw a card, and then my leader, a lot of times they would swing and I would just combo this card off. So no matter what, I will always be able to get my Goku to restand so I can trigger the activate battle of my leader. So that's pretty much all it was there for.
Gotcha. Definitely makes sense. Then 2 copies of Goku Universe at Stake. Again, like, I think this card is just cracked when you have a free Z leader. Like, this leader, I think, just gets to abuse the newer set 20 cards that just revolve around, having a Z leader and whatnot. With this thing being able to tap energy, was this thing kind of like GG when you would drop it, or did your opponents have like unexpected answers to this card?
They did. I don't even know how to stress this, man. This card literally turn 5. If I drop this card, I won the game that turn. just because, especially against red, because red likes to like leave one energy open and thinking that will save them. And literally just play this, and especially like if you're on your Z leader or awaken side already, and you play this and you tap that last energy out, this is usually game. Like turn 5, I dropped this as many times as I could on turn 5, and if I did, I usually just won the game that turn.
Yeah,
Like
no,
this
this
card
card's
absolutely
ridiculous.
crap.
All right, then we have our 3 super combos and our 1 SCR. I mean, I think this is just the best SCR for the deck. Like, I don't think you can play Golden Cooler in this deck or anything like that, right?
No, you're an aggro deck, and this is the best aggro card SCR for yellow. So yeah, this is definitely the SCR for this card for this deck.
1 copy of Sincharon. I think this is only because you had only 1, right?
Yeah, man. I only had 1. Otherwise, I would play like 2 of this card, man.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, did you see it enough? How did it work for you?
You draw so much with this deck because for some reason people just not expect Majin Vegeta or understood how the deck works. So they just would like to let me do my plays, and then next thing you know, this will come down, especially against red. And red, like the red players, I don't know if they're just not used to playing against a yellow aggro deck. And then you put this on top of it, and I drew enough of my deck to get to this card a lot of times. And once this hits the board, it never left the board again. Like the red players just don't know how to deal with it appropriately. So this card was absolutely amazing. Like I'm not sure why they printed this card, why they made it generic. It was absolutely amazing. Like the entire day.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to your first point is that people should have watched my video on how to counter this deck, man. I tried to tell them. I tried to tell them.
You did.
We got 1 Cooler. Yeah, Cooler is weird in this format. I think it's like got a couple good matchups to where you might want 2 copies of it, but overall this worked out okay for you only having the 1.
Oh yeah, like, I literally the only time I thought I ever really needed another Cooler is against blue, and I sideboarded the other one. But other than that, 1 was just perfectly fine for me.
Gotcha. Okay, 1 copy of Poutine. This is actually interesting. This is a card that not many yellow decks are playing right now. Why did you decide to include it, and how did it work out for you?
I included because you have the ability to rest your opponent's cards regularly. So whenever this card was in my hand, and I was able to just rest their cards, this card was just came into play. And then the fact that it's on the board lets your opponent automatically has to play differently from that point on. So this card just worked out. Like if I got it to my hand and I played it, it just it stayed on the board for a while, and it made my opponent's play so much more awkward. So this card for me, it worked out great. Like I don't think I would take it out the main board.
Gotcha. 1 copy of Boo, the new 1 cost 30k double striker, kind of like the mirror replacement. And yeah, this is just like the perfect type of card for an aggro deck like this, 100%.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And then you have an Overwhelm split here. So you got 1 Secret ID and 1 Vegeta. I like the idea of just like splitting down the middle, 1 for each situation. Did one perform better than the other in today's tournament?
Secret Identity was definitely performing a lot better just because you can hit a lot more cards. Like you hit blocker negates and whatever card they got on the board. I mainly put the Vegeta in there just for the higher level SCR cards, like the Beast Gohans or anything like that. But I found myself sideboarding it a lot. So I don't know if it will stay in the main board right now, but that was the idea why I split my my overrealms like that.
Gotcha. And I think we finish up with the extra card lineup, so we'll just show all of them here. So we start off with 2 Forest Fire. So yeah, this is the card that helps you find your Goku Destined Battle, which is so important. It also gets itself off the board for Universe at Stake, which is another important thing because all your cards in your battle area, including your field card, needs to be in rest mode in order to restand this thing for another attack. And yeah, I think it is like the perfect consistency card in this deck. So yeah, any thoughts on this?
No, I have to give you a shout out because you talked about it and I didn't really think too much about it. And then I was like, you know what? I didn't like because a lot of Majin players are playing the 1-drop searcher, top 5 searcher, but in testing, it didn't seem like I had enough targets, and I would whip sometimes on that, as shockingly that is. So then I was like, what's the next best option? And then, it's a 1-cost extra card, which helps out with a card in the sideboard if it came up, and it gets itself off the board. So, it never hindered. And like you said, the 3 big guys, the 3 main cards of your deck, the 4-cost Saiyans, it literally searches either one of them that you need. So to me, this card was just a great addition. Like it made my deck way more consistent.
Yeah, and the fact that you play a clean 50, I think also definitely contributes to that. So kudos to you on the deck building aspect there. All right, then we have 3 Black Kamehameha. Definitely a thick lineup of this card. I feel like most people run 2, but you ran 3. So yeah, I don't know. Did you end up not regretting that?
I do not regret it. I love putting my opponent's cards in rest mode, and I love drawing the cards. So yeah, I'm all about drawing cards and just trying to kill my opponent. Like, I don't want to give you much defense. I don't want to deal with a whole lot of swings. So yeah, this card worked out amazing for me today.
Nice, nice. And then the rest of it, 2 T-Blow, 2 Time Magic, 1 Power Super Saiyan, pretty standard. And then 1 Final Flash. I feel like, some people don't play Final Flash. Some people play 1 just to keep the opponent honest. Some people play 2. I think this is a really good format for Final Flash because it's really good against 21. And in general, it's just a pretty great card. But let's take a quick look at the Z deck. So we have our 1 S3 Vegeta Terrifying Agent of Destruction. I'm curious how often this came up for you because I think 3 energy in the Z deck is kind of a lot for this deck, but did you ever cast this card?
I never once summoned this card at all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I literally I saw it. There's like once or twice where I thought I could do it, but I was like, nah, I'd rather just push a little bit harder. So no, I never summoned this card at all.
Yeah, it's there if your opponent has like a problematic barrier card. It's at least there, not bad.
Yeah.
1 Oolong, of course. 1 SSB Goku. I think another one that maybe it didn't come up super often, probably.
Yeah, same exact situation as the Vegeta. It was there, but it just like you could do so much with 3 energy in this deck that it's hard for me to it's hard to justify tapping 3 for this card. So right. No, I never card neither.
2 Goku Overflowing Aura with the Z leader. This I think is absolutely insane. Like the Goku for 2 energy is fine, but once you play it for 1 from under the Z leader, it's so insane. Like swing for 25, pop a guy, restand your servant. That is super, super good. And you are playing the 1 Majin Buu Despair Revival. So how often did this card come up for you?
It never came up again. It came up like once or twice in testing, and it's mainly because it can't be KO'd, and it does have a dual attack, saying it's 19k, and usually it's for 1 energy. So, but other than that, it never came up again. Like I said, I'm not paying 3 energy for this type of card.
Of course.
And go back to the Goku, I never want to pay 2 energy for that card because again, I usually just summon it with my Z from underneath my Z leader. So yeah, I mean, I'm all about putting as much pressure on the board as I can for 1 without costing that much energy.
Absolutely, yeah. As many 1 energy threats, which this deck can put out a ton of them. That's definitely where you want to be.
Yep.
All right, sideboard. We have a couple of them showing. I don't know why, but anyways, we start off with 2 Smoke Dragon, just for your general, 2 cost unisons, probably Gamma matchup, Gogeta matchup. Anything else this was great for?
No. Like I said, it falls in almost the same category as the Goku's. Like, do I really want to put 2 energy out there for this card, or do I just want to push for damage? But it came up 1 time against Gamma, but after that, I never put it in again.
For sure. All right, 2 Koitsukai. Incredible card this format. Between yellow and blue, there's tons of floodgates. Yeah, I mean, it's weird in best of 1 because you almost feel like you want to bring it in every single time, but I guess not against red. So yeah, how is this card for you?
So here's the tricky thing. I actually did put it against Red Sin today, and it was mainly because in the red matchup it's kind of weird. Let's just say Red Sin, they'll come out there, they're gonna do their the TP Gohan card. They're gonna do that automatically, right? Like they just always have for some reason. But after a while, you just don't kill that card. Let the card stay on the board the entire just never deal. Just don't deal. Just let me. So it turns that card off, and then I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna kill this card, and now I know that I have Koitsukai, so I can go ahead and get rid of the Koitsukai, and I know they're gonna Gohan something because they're about to deal with a bunch of damage on the board. So it was really cool because you can use it to outplay your opponent to a certain degree. So I personally put it, and then Red Sin also has the what's that card? The blocker negate card, not the battle, the Ray Shinron card they can use. So when that turn comes, when I'm ready to push and make damage for them, I'm trying to take as much resources because I'm not swinging at them. I'm swinging at their board. Because both Red Sin Shinron players I play against today, I 5-0 them. And both times I used Koitsukai because I knew at a certain point they're going to use their blocker negates. Like they're going to use their Ray Shinrons. They're going to use their Gohan to defend what I got going on. So as long as I just keep cards at their hand, they can't defend the big push that I'm about to do. So this card was amazing all day. I literally sided in it almost every game today.
Yeah, that is a really good point, actually, how this card probably is really good against Sin. Maybe not against Gogeta, but against Sin for sure. They do have a lot of defensive bodies they play out. 1 cooler for when you need the extra copy. Only 1 copy of Trunks the Cunning. It's pretty cool that this card is tappable with your leader and your Z leader. And then, of course, it's just good in the 21 matchup, right?
Yep.
2 copies of Frieza Divine Transformation. So I am curious how this card worked out for you. I'm always like hesitant to play this card in a non-golden deck because you just end up actually tapping out for it. But how was it for you?
Uh, this was not the move, Joey.
No, not the move.
This was a mistake. I literally I put it in one time against the mirror match and I lost that mirror match. So because I was like, man, I was like, man, I'm about to really tap 5 for this card. I mean, it works great if you already got a board presence, but nah, it's not the move, man. I would not side this card again for this deck.
Yeah, I think it might be okay against like Gamma in 21, but that's probably it, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, 2 copies of Gohan Unison. So what are the matchups you're bringing this in for? I'm curious.
I put this mainly against blue because they love to, like, especially like the Android 21 deck and stuff like that. They love to like use that what's the Android 17 card, everything like that. So I'm like, okay, so you think that card is going to stop me from pushing damage? So no, I'm just going to tap 3 and play this card because Unisons get under that card. So I usually put it against them, and then they still have to deal with it at certain, like they just have to be able to deal with a triple attack card and let you draw a card. It keeps your hand size going. So this against blue, because like I said, they think that floodgate's going to actually stop you, and then you just slam this down. You just keep pushing through with that. So that's the main I put it in for.
Gotcha.
And
2 copies of Death Blaster. Okay, so yellow's like 2 cost Cold Bloodlust. Really good against 6-drop Vegeta in the ramp decks. Really good against the Cooler SCR, Golden Cooler. Any other times you were bringing this in?
No. This, I'm not even gonna lie. This is probably bad for me. So I did not respect ramp decks today, to be honest with you, because I feel like I need to kill them before they get to that point.
Right.
So I didn't respect. It was mainly against that Golden Cooler SCR. That card is absolutely insane.
Yep.
So yeah, I was like, I'm not dealing with that today. So I made sure to prepare for that card. And it didn't come up at all. I did play against one Golden Frieza, but I killed him before he had a chance to play that card. But no, we're not playing those games with Golden Cooler. No.
Very nice. We have 2 copies released from Evil. Just incredible. I think mostly against like Unison-based decks like Golden. Like it's one of your best outs to their triple attack on their SS2 Gohan. It's really good against blue leaders like Gamma. Maybe like SS3 Reboot if you happen to play against that. Any other matchups you brought this in against?
I put it against Yellow Sin because if you time them right and they don't expect it, and you catch this on their leader swing, they can't retap their big guys.
True.
So that did happen today. I was actually against my first round, and he just didn't expect me to. I don't know if he didn't expect it or anything like that, but I got it. I caught him with it, and he couldn't withstand his guys, and I was just free to do whatever I had to do on that following turn. So
that is a really cool interaction. Then you have one more T-Blow. This is great against a ramp deck, so definitely would bring this in against those, right? Like 21, Gamma, and then obviously just all your floodgate nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Frank, so that's the deck. That's the main deck, the Z deck, and the side deck. Any big things you would change? I know you mentioned like maybe dropping Zarbon to 2. Obviously, you'd want to get another Sin Shenron in there. Anything else you think about changing?
Like I said, I would drop the cooler block, cooler negate, probably drop that down to 2. Definitely put another Sin. I'm debating on whether or not 3T blow is the move going on, just the way the format is. But that's something we have to talk about as a team.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if I would go back and play the SS4 Overrealm again and just play a second Secret Identity.
Gotcha.
But other than that, for the most part, like I said, this main board was just absolutely awesome all day. So I'll definitely make some changes in the sideboard because that Divine Transformation got to get up out of here.
Yeah. All right, man. Any shout outs you want to throw out there?
Yeah, so shout out to the boys, Team Crossworld. Love those guys to death. Shout out to Mystic TCG. Shout out to my locals, squirrels. I forgot my locals' name, but they know who they are. Travis Bear, we call them. Shout out to Mystic TCG. Shout out to Deck Planet. And just thank you guys for the support. And like shout out to my wife. She let me play today in peace, so I definitely appreciate that. So yeah.
Awesome, man. We'll see you next time.
All right, bro. Take it easy, man.